Well, the arguments that are being made by the TMC, by Mamata Banerjee in court as we speak, Tapas, has got to do with the fact that they, it's something that they've been saying for a while now that this is a vendetta, and also that the interest was not in any case that IPAC has found itself embroiled in. It had got more to do with taking pictures for documents that they could have possibly done, and that was not had nothing to do with I-pacs in general, but had got to do more with election material, linking this, of course, directly as we look at it to the election, saying that there was secret poll material that the ED wanted to get its hands on, and that's why it became imperative for the Chief Minister to take it away, isn't it?
Well, yes, absolutely, Sneha, because
Yes.
as far as the narrative is concerned, the Trinamool Congress Supreme on the day 1, that's on the 8th January, she have made it clear it was because of a political vendetta that this raid was conducted. Now, going by what ED has put on record in Calcutta High Court yesterday, that nothing was seized during the seizure. That's what is being used by Kapil Sibal by stating that if they wanted, they could have seized anything. They could have taken photographs, but they did not seize anything. The intent is very clear. It wasn't about the coal scam. It was about to get hold of or grab the internal documents and communications pertaining to the pool strategy of the Trinamool Congress. That's what the Kapil Sibal is trying to establish at this moment. And also the state is also trying to say that if the case was ongoing for so long, why all of a sudden, after 2 years, ED jumped into this raid and conducting raids at IPAC director's residence and office in order to get what? Why this raid could not have been deferred till the elections were over. So they are trying to build a narrative that it's because elections is nearby, and that's the reason that on behest of certain entity, Enforcement Directorate, with so-called malafide intention, was trying to get hold of some secret documents from the residence of an office of Pratik Jain, since they are in contract with the Trinamool Congress and they are election strategists on working on behest of Trinamool Congress, and it was anticipated that important documents could be found in their residences and offices. That's the narrative that the state is trying to build up at this moment. Remains to be seen, since both the parties are arguing at this moment at the apex court. It remains to be seen what exact pronouncement does come in from the apex court after both the counsels are heard. Back to you.
That's right. You know, Kapil Sibal, Munish also, in fact, referring to the Panchnama, saying that nothing really was seized. That is something also that is being said in court. Also talking about the fact that even though documents weren't seized, photographs could have been taken. It was sensitive poll material involving the Trinamool Congress in that sense, would put them at a disadvantage when it comes to elections, isn't it? If it is taken away by the ED.
Well, Sneha, ED has been maintaining that they were not able to seize anything, and Kapil Sibal, before the court, when he started reading the Panchnama, there was nothing seized by the ED. Then the court also said that if they had intention to seize it, they would have seized. And Kapil Sibal then said that they could have taken pictures of those material which was there at the at the premises. So it is a very interesting argument, because ED has been maintaining that before they could have seized anything, everything was taken away by Mamata Banerjee. There are photos and videos, and Sneha, what I have been given to understand by our sources within the ED is that those pictures, when Mamata Banerjee was taking away the files which was searched by from the premises, which was searched by the Enforcement Directorate, the files being dumped in the CM's car, those pictures have been attached by the Enforcement Directorate in their plea before the Supreme Court. So as an evidence, they want to show that Mamata Banerjee reached the spot in the presence of DGP and Police Commissioner of Kolkata. All those materials were taken away by Mamata Banerjee, but ED has been maintaining that were not able to seize anything, and Kapil Sibal is maintaining that they might have seized it. They could have taken pictures, and that is why Mamata Banerjee reached there. Also, there are arguments on the lines that why ED came after so many years. The matter started in 2020. ED started a money laundering case. The Central Bureau of Investigation conducted searches. Abhishek Banerjee, Sneha, was questioned twice by the Enforcement Directorate in year 2022. But later on, for next 3 years, nothing happened. So an indication is being given by Kapil Sibal is that nothing happened in last 3 years, but suddenly when West Bengal elections are announced, then ED comes for searches because they wanted to take away the documents pertaining to elections. But ED at the same time, they have been maintaining that they were not intending to seize anything which was related to elections. They were investigating a money laundering investigation, and they could have seized only evidence pertaining to money laundering.
Be with us, Munish. I'm going to, in fact, go back to Nalini also for more updates on that. From the Supreme Court, I hear a war of words of sorts has erupted between Kapil Sibal and the Solicitor General. Nalini, as we speak, when it comes to various other questions of how, lawyers who appear in a case shouldn't talk about that in press conference. Sibal clearly talks about the fact or insinuates that material seized is handed over to journalists to set a narrative about the Trinamool Congress, isn't it?
Yes, Sneha, we are essentially seeing a repeat of what we'd seen even before the Calcutta High Court, which was heightened tensions and a heated war of words between the Counsel of the Enforcement Directorate and the Counsel for TMC. Of course, before the Calcutta High Court, it had happened between ASG SV Raju and Senior Advocate Menuka Guruswamy, where Menuka Guruswamy was representing the TMC, had gone to the extent of alleging that ASG SV Raju was bullying people in the court, and unlike the Enforcement Directorate, TMC does not believe in bullying before a court of law. Similar thing, we are seeing a repeat of that before the Supreme Court, albeit between two different lawyers. This time it's Solicitor General Tushar Mehta and Senior Advocate Kapil Sibal, who are both also taking pot shots at each other while making the arguments on behalf of their respective parties, where Solicitor General Tushar Mehta has, of course, taken a pot shot at Kapil Sibal, where he said that advocates or senior advocates who appear before this court should not talk about those cases in front of the media or give press conferences. At the same time, in a quick retort, Senior Advocate Kapil Sibal has also said that in that case, even the CBI and ED should not be leaking information about cases to their select favorite journalists. So this is, of course, like it's a very evident from the kind of arguments that are being made and statements that are being made that this is not just about the legalities of whether or not ED has the power to conduct these raids, but this is more political at this particular point, where the ED is alleging that TMC is trying to interfere in the functioning of a central agency, where Mamata Banerjee was aware that they are going to be conducting the raids because they had informed in advance to the state police that they are going to be conducting the raids at certain locations. It was because of that that she actually ended up showing up at those particular locations, and they're going to the extent of accusing a sitting chief minister of not only theft but also interference with the investigation of a central agency. Where on the other hand, the TMC is clearly stated that ED is a political tool for the central government. They are acting on behest of the central government, where in the state of West Bengal, where elections are due, they are trying to gather the sensitive political and electoral data to do with the TMC. The Solicitor General Sneha had made a very interesting statement where he said that there are no elections in West Bengal, and the Supreme Court clarified that by saying to the extent that elections have not yet been notified, which means that there is no assigned date for the elections to happen in West Bengal. But Kapil Sibal has clearly retorted to that as well, saying that if this is the information coming in from the Solicitor General and if this is his level of awareness, then I have nothing to say. So a lot of personal remarks also being exchanged, heated war of words, heightened tensions. All of that is obvious from the kind of proceedings that had happened before the Calcutta High Court as well, which has now been carried on into the Supreme Court. But what remains to be seen, and the most important thing that we have to see, is whether or not the Supreme Court will issue an order on ED's plea at all. They have communicated their intention to issue a notice to the West Bengal government so that they officially have to reply, which means that the Supreme Court is likely to look into as to whether or not a CBI probe should happen onto the events of January 8th as to what happened on the streets of West Bengal between ED and Mamata Banerjee. But at the same time, that order has not come in yet. Arguments are still going on. And of course, like we stated many times earlier, heated war of words between the two councils.
That's right, Nalini.